Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero. We are back again talking about Mark Hamill tells MAGA to go force yourself, then encourages followers to not go to the orange side because of course the hypocrisy is out there about Disney where they'll sit there and fire Gina Carano for her supposed political opinions even though she just shared an image while they just simply let Mark Hamill spew his political opinions and he's absolutely not fired because the double standard is real where people on the right or conservatives will get fired or lose their job for saying their political opinion, but someone on the left or liberal side will not lose their job for telling you their political opinion. So let's jump into this here from that Park Place. Mark Hamill tells MAGA to go force yourself, then encourages followers to not go to the orange side. Star Wars actor Mark Hamill recently told attendees at Chicago Fan Expo that if you want to make America great again, you should go force yourself. During a panel appearance, Hamill stated, quote, "I said, may the force be with you unless you're MAGA, then you can go force yourself." So basically telling anyone who supports, a certain president to go F themselves is what essentially you're saying without actually saying it. We all know what you mean, Mark Hamill, but it's crazy to me that you want to sit here and basically tell fans who don't, vote the same way or have the same political opinions of you as you to not be your fan or, all that stuff. You're out here charging $400 to $700 for an autograph. He then added, quote, "I like that phrase because it sounds dirty, but it's not. And hey, I don't work blue, and I promised I wouldn't bring up politics, and then you did. And I won't tell you how to vote. But I do hope you're all voting." And it's crazy how you're telling people you won't bring up politics, but then you brought up politics, and you basically just told anyone who doesn't vote the same way as you to go F themselves. Here's a clip of Mark Hamill telling Fan Expo Chicago, unless you're MAGA, then you go force yourself, right before telling people he's not going to tell them how to vote.
I said that before, I say, may the force be with you. Unless you're MAGA, then you can go force yourself.
It's also interesting to me that people are cheering this nonsense, basically telling you in the audience once again that if you vote a certain way, you're not welcome in the Star Wars fandom. Is basically what the people that are wooing, and Mark Hamill himself is what's basically telling you.
Listen, I like that phrase because it sounds dirty, but it's not. And hey.
Oh, it's absolutely dirty because, again, you're telling people who don't vote the same way as you to go F themselves without saying to go F yourself.
I don't wear blue. And I promised I wouldn't bring up politics. I won't tell you how to vote.
No, the reason you brought up politics is because you have a serious case of TDS and you just can't control it and you just had to blurt it out there and again tell people that don't vote the same way as you to go F themselves. It's absolutely disgusting. This is not the first time Hamill has made such comments. Back in 2019, he reacted to a photo that Ivanka Trump shared of her family, one of her kids dressed as a First Order Stormtrooper. Yeah, this is gross. She wrote, "The force is strong in my family." Hamill replied, "You misspelled fraud. Hashtag go force yourself." Which again, it's a kid. You're trying to basically tell a kid that they can't be a Star Wars fan, which is disgusting. He reiterated the comments in a recent post to X where he wrote, "My message to MAGA, go force yourself." He also included a video of himself and the chairman of the DNC, Hamill Harrison. Hamill said in the video, "In the movies, I fought against make-believe evil, but we're at a time in our history where we're fighting against real evil, so I beg you, please don't go to the orange side." You're just going to make more people go to the orange side because you're telling people how to vote, once again, after saying that you're not going to tell people how to vote. These comments are not out of the ordinary for Hamill. In the middle of July, following the attempted deletion of President Donald Trump, Hamill mocked President Trump's bandage. He wrote on X, "First appearance of ludicrously oversized ear bandage apparently not needed prior to tonight." Not only was Hamill making light of a deletion attempt, an attempt that took the life of Corey Comparator and wounded two others alongside President Donald Trump, his assertion that this was the first time he was wearing the bandage is not true. The New York Post's Michael Goodwin reported on July 14th that Trump was sporting a large loose white bandage that covered his right ear. He added, his staff insisted that no photos be taken. Furthermore, the size of the bandage appears necessary. Goodwin reports, what would have been a deletion shot tore off a small piece of his ear and splattered blood on his forehead and cheek. A day later, Hamill marked Trump's appearance at the Republican National Convention. He wrote, "For once I'm with him." Meanwhile, this is him closing his eyes during a prayer, by the way, which makes you, Mark Hamill, look like an absolute fool. Gina Carano is currently suing Hamill's employer for wrongful termination. Put Hamill on blast, writing, "It's called praying, Mark." Trump was closing his eyes in prayer. The man who was just pew-pewed a few days ago, almost losing his life, and another man took that bullet and passed away protecting his family. She continued, "What happened to all that talk about not spreading misinformation and disinformation? Doesn't count when you do it, huh? Rules for thee, but not for me. How's that white Democrat male privilege treating you? Been fired from any jobs recently?" Yeah. So basically, Gina Carano calling out the hypocrisy of Disney when it comes to Mark Hamill. Next, Carano wrote, quote, "It really makes you wonder what the deep state has on you for you to have your head so permanently jammed up their ass to where all you've become is their walking, talking piece of dung." She concluded, quote, "Have you enjoyed all your political free speech and funny mustache man analogies without any repercussions for the past 8 years? Don't worry, we have them all saved. Strange you weren't canceled or called out for any of it. I wonder if that time is fast approaching for you. Have a good nap." It's absolutely destroying Mark Hamill.